Good morning, I'm Danilo Evangelista, and welcome to our tropical weather outlook, one of multiple videos we'll be doing today, June 18th, a Wednesday, 2025. We are talking about Hurricane Erick today. It just became a hurricane as of the 8 a.m. Eastern Time advisory, and this is probably on its way to becoming a major hurricane later today, and it will be a devastating impact to the Mexican coastline tomorrow. Here's the latest information on Hurricane Erick, once again, as of the 8 a.m. advisory Eastern Time along the East Coast, but 6 a.m. Central Time, at least in Mexico. Maximum sustained winds right now are 75 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure is 991 millibars, and it is located at 13.5 north and 95.7 west, and it is moving northwest at 7 miles per hour. And you can see on the latest satellite imagery, it certainly looks like a hurricane. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it is stronger than the 75 miles per hour that the National Hurricane Center has right now. I mean, just take a look at these convective bursts that are occurring right now in Erick Center. And I'm kind of annoyed that the last frame is not loading here, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is already beginning to rapidly intensify. Recon is actually on its way to Erick, so we'll be able to get an exact intensity estimate by Recon on the ground shortly, but it wouldn't shock me if this will be stronger than 75 miles per hour, which the National Hurricane Center currently has it right now. And just a sign of intensification, you can see that these convective bands are wrapping around the entire eye wall in here, and we'll probably start to see a eye begin to develop and clear out later today. And once that does that, you will definitely know for sure that this is rapidly intensifying. But either way, this will quickly strengthen throughout the day today. It's probably on its way to becoming a major hurricane. And just taking a look at the National Hurricane Center track, which I conveniently overlaid on Google Earth so I could actually show you not just the track, but what exact towns we should look at. And also, I overlaid the watches and warnings here, so did some nice computer work to get this going. But it is going to strengthen and probably become a major hurricane today. At this point right here, this is, I believe, tomorrow morning, the National Hurricane Center has Erick at 110 miles per hour. So they don't explicitly have a major hurricane point on the track right now, but I'm pretty sure that in between these 2 points right here, which is tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, this will definitely strengthen into a major hurricane. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if it becomes a major hurricane before then, before tomorrow morning. We'll see. We'll have to see how much Erick continues to organize throughout the day today. But it's probably going to become a major hurricane. How strong? It really depends on how quickly it intensifies. Then it'll make a landfall sometime tomorrow, late morning into early afternoon along the Mexican coast. The National Hurricane Center track right now takes this pretty much right over Playa El Canto in the general region here in Mexico. But as I said yesterday, there's still a little bit of uncertainty with the track. Any sort of wobbles that occur right now in Erick will play a major factor in shifting the track either further to the east or further to the west, especially because of the angle that the storm is coming in. And it's very important and it's very significant because we have major cities like Acapulco, which, as I mentioned yesterday, were devastatingly hurt over the last several years by multiple major hurricanes, Otis and then John last year. So they definitely do not need another storm right now, but they are still within the cone of uncertainty. We have the National Hurricane Center track, which is 1 point, but you got to remember that there's still the cone of uncertainty, as in they still predict that the track could be anywhere within this cone. So really anywhere from Puerto Escondido, which is right here to the east here of slightly east of the cone, that could potentially deal with a major hit. To as far west as anywhere like Acapulco could still get the direct eye or the direct center from the storm, and that obviously would be devastating. So even points east of that or points west of that. So lots of uncertainty with the track right now. But either way, hurricane warnings are in effect all the way from pretty much around Acapulco to Puerto Angel. And then from there, tropical storm warnings are in effect from Puerto Angel to Salina Cruz. And then west of Acapulco to, let's see here, what's the town here? Tetitlán or Boca Chica, there's a hurricane watch in effect. So if you are in these areas, make your plans to evacuate today from the coastline, especially if you are a tourist, maybe visiting from the United States. Make your plans to hop on a plane today because this will make landfall tomorrow. And if not, if you run out of time, try to move inland from the coast if you can. But I also mentioned yesterday, and I will mention in my updates later today, this storm will not just be something for the coast. There will be heavy rainfall that extends well inland of the coast over pretty much the entirety of southeastern Mexico. So please keep that in mind, and I'll go over it in more detail later today. But recon is en route to Erick right now, so we will get an actual intensity forecast, or not intensity forecast, but an actual intensity estimate by recon in just a moment. So we'll find out whether or not it is actually 75 miles per hour or whether it's stronger, but it probably will get stronger very quickly later today. And one of the reasons why, take a look at the upper level winds, very light over Erick. In fact, you can take a look at these wind bars. They are fanning outward from the storm, meaning there is very strong outflow at the upper levels of the atmosphere. We have an upper level anticyclone, and that is obviously favorable for rapid intensification. So wind shear is go. Wind shear, we won't have to worry about wind shear impeding Erick. Unfortunately, fortunately for it, but unfortunately for us humans. And then sea surface temperatures, I also mentioned this, very, very warm in the path of Erick, anywhere between 29 and 30 degrees Celsius, right up to the coast. In fact, it gets slightly warmer once we get towards the coast, and you can imagine 30 degrees Celsius more than enough for rapid intensification. So the heat source for Erick will also be very sufficient for it pretty much all the way up to landfall in Mexico. And as a result, just taking a look at the model intensity guidance, all of them expect intensification within the next 24 hours pretty much, which is roughly as much time as it has till landfall. And most of the intensity guidance has this anywhere between a Cat 1 and Cat 2. But I think all of the intensity guidance are underestimating it. I think it's very likely that this could end up as a major hurricane. And the National Hurricane Center pretty much explicitly says it. They forecast 110 miles per hour, but that is before landfall. And I think if you were to look at their forecast discussion, they say that they kind of expect this to become a major hurricane anyways. So I think the intensity model guidance is lowballing it, and we're probably going to see a major hurricane from Erick. And also, this is not even updated anyways, because this is the 6Z initialization, and Erick was still a tropical storm then. Obviously, since then, it has become a hurricane. Let's actually see, has it updated for 12Z? Not yet. But either way, I think the intensity guidance is underdoing it. And that is that. All right, so let's take a look at the GFS. Let's take a look at the models, the actual models, not just the intensity guidance. And you could see on the GFS how quickly Erick ramps up, even on a model like the GFS, which is a global model. And I always point that out because global models are obviously much lower in resolution. They're not built to specifically, capture the factors and kind of details that we get in hurricanes, or at least not on the same scale that hurricane models do, which is why we have hurricane models, and I'll show you what they show in a little bit. But it's still pretty crazy. We go from hour 6, which is pretty much the time right now, 12Z Wednesday, that is 8 a.m. Eastern time, to the next 24 hours. This goes from 991 millibars, which is actually kind of accurate for what it is right now, all the way down to 973 millibars within 24 hours on the GFS. And obviously, I think it's lowballing it, but the GFS is still capturing the fact that there will be rapid intensification with Erick, and it's probably ongoing right now. And showing you the H-Wharf as well. H-Wharf definitely shows rapid intensification, brings us down to 971 millibars, maximum sustained winds at 86 knots, so that is a Category 2. And then they have this make landfall tomorrow afternoon on the Mexican coastline. And I will also point this out, where it makes landfall, it'll also impact the timing of when landfall will occur. If this makes landfall further to the west, it'll have a little bit more time over water, so we'll probably see a later landfall time rather than if this makes landfall further to the east. Landfall will probably occur earlier on in the day. So this is why it's really important to monitor the current trends we have in Erick right now. And let's really quickly take a look at the HMON. And you can see the discrepancy shows a landfall pretty much tomorrow morning. And also slightly weaker too. I don't know what that is about. They show 980 millibars and just only getting to Category 1 or mid-range Category 1 intensity. And I definitely don't agree with that. Erick's probably going to be stronger than that. But anyways, they have this getting to Category 1. The HAFs, though, makes this a major hurricane. They have this getting as strong as 105 knots, and they have this making landfall tomorrow morning. So I guess maybe the H-Wharf is a little bit of an outlier and showing a later landfall. And makes sense because it definitely seems like they have this coming in a little bit further to the west. Yes, they do. So it makes sense as to why they have a later landfall. But I think the HAFs may be a little bit closer with intensity, but very interesting that they still have 970 millibars. We'll actually get the recon data shortly here, which will be input to these hurricane models, and we'll probably be able to get a more accurate forecast from the hurricane models once we have the recon data shortly. So we'll go over it. We'll go over that this afternoon when I do another update on Erick, which I will be doing, by the way. And then really quickly, here's the HAFS-B model. They too expect this to become a major hurricane, bottoming out at 970 millibars, and then pretty much online with or in line, I should say, with the HAFS and the HMON, having this make landfall late tomorrow morning, or roughly, and probably as a major hurricane along Mexico. So lots to watch here over the next 24 hours. I'm going to be doing another update this afternoon around 2 o'clock or so, and then I'm going to be doing a live stream this evening, and I'm going to have some guests on. So if you want to stay tuned for all of that, I would really appreciate right now, if you haven't already done so, like this video, comment any questions you have, any concerns you have about Erick. I will definitely answer them down below. And we'll see what Erick does, but it is probably going to quickly strengthen throughout the day today, and wouldn't shock me if by this evening, or maybe by tonight, this will probably be a major hurricane and certainly a devastating impact to Mexico. With that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this morning's discussion. Stay safe out there. Peace, love, and kindness to you all. I'll be back with you again later today.